County Executive Ryan McMahon, who attended another Catholic school on a different side of town than us, but he found the error of his ways, and his wife is a CBA graduate, so we appreciate that you don't know. Today we're gathering as a community in that paper that I'll try to find it. In a normal year, we would have had an opportunity to recognize these achievements during the course of the year at some point at a gathering. But if you remember, at the time of this championship, at the time of all these championships, we really didn't have the opportunity to do that. And in fact, over the last 2 years, it's been anything but normal. Hopefully, when you gather together at the Palace Theater with our musicale this weekend on Friday and Saturday, it'll feel a little bit more normal than normal. In order to fully understand why we're honoring these young people, let's take a quick geography lesson. CBA is part of the New York State Public High School Athletic Association, and it's broken up into 11 geographical sections. Central New York is considered Section 3, which geographically extends from Thousand Islands up at the north, down to Cortland in the south, over to Cooperstown, then up to Little Falls, and then all the way over west to Weedsport. To put that in perspective, that makes Section 3 larger than the states of Delaware and Rhode Island, and is just about the same size as Connecticut in terms of square yardage. As far as the number of schools is concerned, Section 3 has 108 schools, which is 20 more than the state of Delaware and about the same as the state of Rhode Island. So certainly to win a championship, a sectional championship, is something special. But when you're one of the best in our section and advance into state tournament championship competition, it's a tremendous feat. And to go beyond that and win a state championship makes it even more special. Hence why we're taking the time to honor these young people today. But even before we get to these people and move to acknowledge the people that represented us in state competition, we feel it's appropriate to recognize many of you for your hard work in the classroom. At CBA, we understand that although extracurricular activities are important, participation in them cannot come at the expense of an athlete's performance in the classroom. The New York State Public High School Athletic Association highlights this by recognizing any varsity team that during the course of their season have 75% of the team achieve a scholastic average of 90 or above, and they earn a Scholar Athlete Team Award. If all of the school teams earn this award, the school is declared a school of distinction. Last year, CBA was one of only 4 of the 108 schools in Section 3 that earned that designation. Considering the challenges we faced last year, you should be proud and very proud, because it took hard work not only of the students, but the diligence of the faculty to help us earn this prestigious honor. And at this point, I'm proud to say that we are on track to earn that distinction again. So far this year, all of our fall and winter sports teams have qualified for Scholar Athlete Team Awards. So at this time, anyone that was a member of one of our fall or winter varsity sports team, please stand up and let's give them a round of applause for their accomplishment. Thank you. So now on to our state tournament representatives. When all was shut down in the spring of 2020, our boys and girls basketball teams were preparing to participate in the quarterfinals of the state tournament. Unfortunately, those never took place. Last year, all state tournaments were canceled. So this year, when they restarted, 6 of our student athletes advanced beyond sectional play and represented all of us in state tournament competition. To do so, they had to be one of the top individuals in their respective sports. Those students this year are Giselle Vlasis, who qualified in tennis, Bella Canizo, who represented us in cross country, Joe McMahon, who also qualified in cross country, Mike McMahon, who qualified in cross country, and also won the championship. Cooper Grote, who not only qualified for the cross country state tournament, but also represented CBA in the indoor track state championships. And Misha Kabanov, who swam 3 events, qualified for 3 finals, and therefore came home with 3 medals. Congratulations to these athletes for their accomplishments. Let's have a final round of applause for them. While competing for a state championship is an accomplishment in itself, to actually win one is unique. To put it into perspective, since state championships were resurrected in some sports in the mid-70s and then gradually increased into over 20 championships that are competed for today, of the thousands of individual athletes and nearly 1,000 teams that have represented CBA during that period, only 27 individuals and 13 teams were crowned state champions. This year, we can add another individual and team to that total. Our first state champion is the first athlete to reach the pinnacle in her sport. To get there, she had to be better than hundreds of Section 3 bowlers, and by doing so, qualified to represent CBA and Section 3 in the state championships. To chronicle her accomplishments, I call on her coach, Colin Conrad.
A great part of athletics, and really a great part of any aspect of life, is examining the hypothetical. We spend hours with friends and teammates discussing what could have happened if the ball had bounced differently. We obsess over what might have happened if the coach had called a different play. Sometimes those discussions last days, weeks, and even years. I'm sure the Advancement Office can attest to the fact that at any alumni event, stories can be heard detailing the final game. Former All-Stars agonizing for the 100th time how one little change could have affected the outcome. A more reasonable and enjoyable way to recount the past is to stick to facts. Across the country every day of every year, you can find people arguing about sports. Analysts on television, podcasts, live streams, and the student athletes walking in the halls. They will all frequently quote statistics to support their argument. People discuss all-time records. They ask which team is the best, which player is the best. Well, I think we have the best right here at CBA. We do not need to focus on hypotheticals with this young athlete. Here are a few statistics to demonstrate the talent of Eliana Aquino, a member of the Section 3 composite team that won a state title on March 12th. Eliana has led the OHSL in average each of her 3 seasons. She has led the CBA girls bowling team to 3 consecutive league titles. She has qualified for the Section 3 state tournament team in all 3 of her seasons, although this was the first year she was eligible to participate because of the pandemic. As a 7th grader, Eliana had the 2nd highest series at the Section 3 tournament. This year, she had the high series at the Section 3 tournament. Eliana placed 2nd at the Storm Youth Championships. That's a national event. It was held in Las Vegas in February of this year. A few months prior to that, she had finished 3rd in a similar tournament. We do not have time to list all of her individual accolades and accomplishments, considering she bowled back-to-back 800 series less than a month ago. Achieving 800 is a bucket list moment for most bowlers. She did it twice in 2 days. I will leave you with one last bit of information to demonstrate just how special Eliana is. Her average this year was an astounding 236.1. If you're not a bowler, that's not as impactful to you as it should be, so I'll give it some more context. Clearly, it was the best in the OHSL. It was better than any bowler in Section 3 this year. Even at the state tournament, it was better than everybody there. She had the best average in all of New York State. It's impressive, right? She had such a phenomenal 2021-2022 season that 236.1 is the highest average for any female bowler in the entire country this year. It is the 3rd highest average of all time. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, Eliana is only in 9th grade. The best is yet to come. Please join me in congratulating Eliana on her record-setting season.
Thanks, Coach Conroy, and congratulations, Eliana. Our next championship team had a magical run to a title, and their accomplishment is truly amazing. Over 500 schools throughout the state that compete in football in the New York State Public High School Athletic Association, only 5 of them earn the title of state champion in a year. That's 1% of all the schools in New York State can say that they're state champions. But the significance of that game and the related opportunity it provided for all of you extended far beyond football. If you remember back at that time, there have not been many times where we get together as a group and celebrate things. We come together as a school community. Thanks, Kate. There have not been many times that we could come together as a school community over the last 2 years, and we felt that it was an important part of our mission to do that. If you recall, in December, when our football team was fortunate enough to win the championship, we were in the midst of an uptick in COVID issues. And quite honestly, there's not a lot to cheer about. In fact, we felt that it was so important to gather together that day that, if you remember, the administration dismissed us all early so that we had an opportunity to cheer on our football team in the championship game, which was played at 3 o'clock on a Friday. As expected, the turnout was tremendous. It was a great showing of our student body, of our alumni and friends. It provided an uplifting sense of pride for our entire community. And at this time, we'd like to appropriately recognize that team, and I introduce our head coach, Casey Brown.
Thank you. First of all, I want to thank Mr. Keogh for his vision and his leadership with CBA. Without Mr. Keogh, none of this would actually happen. None of the championships, none of the scholarships, and none of the success for CBA. So thank you very much, Mr. Keogh. So these championships don't happen. Hours in terms of where your game is right now. And that's the same way with our guys. Whether you're a champion in the classroom with a 4.0 GPA, or if you have a state championship like our football team and our championship bowler, and we've got championship athletes in swimming, tennis, cross country. Our basketball team does a fantastic job. Lacrosse team does a fantastic job. It takes hours, days, in terms of your craft. This is the same thing with the football team. These guys sacrifice time, days away from their friends, instead of taking vacations that are out here on this field. We're also lucky enough to be getting in a weight room again, which we're excited about. We're going to spend a lot of time in there. I also want to thank our staff, my staff right over here. Time away from their friends, their family, and they're spending the time with all these wonderful guys. And obviously, I love these guys that are behind us. But finally, I want to thank the staff for your support in the classroom and pushing our kids, and then all of you guys. This is the best student section, if not section 3 in New York State. You guys are the best, and we appreciate whether you're here on Friday night cheering us on or traveling. So thank you very much. You want to get up on the stairs? Hey,
Guys, please.
Plan B. Get back up on the bleachers. That way. Yo, set it up.
She said that was graceful.
I don't know if I...
Ryan Story. Guys, squeeze in. Squeeze in. Coaches, you guys getting in?
Why don't you guys back up a little bit? There you go. Some gas.
Ryan, excuse me. You guys, thank you. Mrs.
Go, here we go.
Mrs. Bronte, can you move over a little bit? Thank you. Thank you.
Good?
Yep.
We're good. Right, here we go. Good. One, four's up. Great job.
Thank you. Congratulations. At this time, we do have State Senator Mannion and County Executive McMahon would like to add their words of congratulations. So first, State Senator Mannion.
Thank you, Mr. Wiklenski. As Mr. Wiklenski mentioned, I taught here 1993, 1994, and 94, 95. And unfortunately, for Mr. Cusano, former student right there. So I know these guys won't let me down. Let's give Mr. Cusano a round of applause. Dedicated to the Brothers tradition. Christian Brothers Academy has a great history of athletics, but more importantly, academics. And I'm proud to say and continue to say that I taught here. I think it's only fitting today that we acknowledge Eliana, which is participates in a sport where it's all individual. It's all on her. And then we honor a sport like football and a team and a coaching staff where each position is unique and you must do what you need to do for your team to be successful. But while you do that, you have to do it in sync. You have to have an understanding of each other. And that's why it's just amazing to be able to be here and participate in this. And the last thing I'll say about Christian Brothers Academy is I had the honor over the last few minutes to sit here and watch you as a student body show your pride and your respect for your leaders, your fellow students, your fellow athletes, by sitting there respectfully, listening, participating. You're not on your phones, you're paying attention, you're engaged, you're compliant, and that happens at a place like CBA, and it doesn't happen everywhere. So congratulations to you as well, and these teams and Eliana. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the kind words. So I'll forget the green tie for that right now. Next speaker is going to be County Executive Ryan McMahon.
Hey everybody. So I'm going to take a different angle. Senator Mannion certainly sounded like a teacher right there, didn't he? But overall, I just wanted to say this is really special. And if you think about every single person here what you've all lived through for the last 2 years. And now we're in year 3 of a 100-year pandemic. And I'm sure you're probably getting sick of hearing that. But what it is, when you reflect back what you've been through, the sacrifices you've made, your families have made, the way things have been stolen from you in ways, you're going to be more resilient from that. And I do want to acknowledge on behalf of Buddy, and I've been on these fields and these gyms many times, not wearing the gold and purple, and I haven't had as much success as I would want to. But specifically, I did want to acknowledge the 2020 basketball team. You guys won your last game, and you may have had those state championship tournaments stolen from you, but not many teams can say they won that last game. And for our athletes today, simply amazing. I want to congratulate Bella, I want to congratulate Cooper, Mike, Joe, Giselle, Nisha, for your state qualifiers. Obviously, Eliana, I'd like you on my bowling team if we can work that out later. And for the CBA men's football team, I was in the midst of managing a pandemic in the fall, but I did understand the run you guys went on and how special that is, and that it just doesn't happen. And for all of you students, what an opportunity, what a special opportunity to be involved, to be able to go on and cheer on people that you know, people your friends, people you hang out with, to give the family members the camaraderie of that. It's really important. And I'll just give some words of wisdom and reflection to all the athletes, and specifically the football team and the teams overall. Enjoy this moment. These are moments that you will probably talk about the rest of your lives. And it really is remarkable what you all experienced together. But I would also just like to say that in life, we always learn more when we fail than when we succeed overall. And that's what makes this so much special, is because you fail a lot more times in your daily lives than you do succeed at the level that all these athletes did. So congratulations to all that. And let me just read this proclamation. Whereas Christian Brothers Academy school community is gathering this Wednesday, April 20th, at El Briandi Stadium to recognize their state championship football team, state champion bowler, along with several other student athletes that represent the CBA. And whereas CBA was also recognized as a school of distinction by New York State Public High School Athletic Association for the 2020-21 school year. And only 4 schools in Section 3 were given this honor, with the student athletes on all the varsity teams achieved a 90% average or above during their respective seasons. Now, therefore, I, J. Ryan McMahon II, the County Executive of Onondaga County, do hereby proclaim CBA State Champion Athletes Day in Onondaga County. So congratulations to everybody.
Thanks, County Executive McMahon. We really appreciate yours and Senator Mannion's taking the time out of your busy schedule in order to attend this event. We really feel special because of that. So at this time, as we get ready to close the ceremony, we will have our president, Mr. Matthew Keel, say a few words in closing. Thank you, Coach. So today, there's so much to be tremendously proud about for this community. For all of our student athletes, for our state championship participants, for our state championship football team, for our coaches, who are exceptional role models, people, and individuals. To our faculty that believe every day when they come here that this is their vocational calling, to make a difference in each of your lives. And today we come here to celebrate success, right? And I'll leave you with one thought. We celebrate today
worldly success. We acknowledge that. We acknowledge it through a championship, through the proclamation. We acknowledge it all the time in many things we do, from honors nights to distinctions. You will continue to be recognized for worldly successes that are tremendous accomplishments. But if they're not paired with heavenly success, they mean nothing. What does that mean? It means that in football, you're a good teammate. It means that when I spoke to them during that championship run, I didn't say anything about football. I talked about being a good teammate and overcoming adversity. About when things don't go your way, like County Executive talked about. That it's easy to be a good teammate when things go well. But through those challenges, to continue to have faith, to continue to persevere. Certainly we recognize the worldly successes, but the most important thing is that they're paired with heavenly successes. Being that best version of you. Each and every day, we want to have those successes. Certainly the worldly ones are terrific, but each and every day, when we go home at the end of the day, we want to be that best person we can be. At the end of each day, ask yourself, did you make the day better for one of your classmates? Are your friends better people because you're in their life? Do you make the classroom that much better each day? Those are the successes that we talk about each and every day here. And thankfully, we are blessed with tremendous worldly successes as well. So, I am so proud of each and every one of you for all that you do and for all that you bring to CBA. When this team played in the state championship, all of you came out. Not necessarily because you love football, but because you're part of CBA. Because you supported the gifts and talents of your classmates. At the musical this weekend, I hope all of you come out to support the musical. Not necessarily because it's your gift and talent, but because you recognize it in others. Those are the things that for 120 years have made CBA special. And those are the things that will continue to make CBA special. So thank you for all that you do to make this place what it is. Thank you to our faculty for what they do to make this place what it is. And thank you to our coaches and administrators for making this place what it is. Congratulations to all of you.
And now as we finish the ceremony, we just want to show our pride in our school. And what better way of doing that than having Mrs. Moore lead us in our alma mater.
Everyone, please stand. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you. This time, we're going to dismiss the classes one at a time, and we're going to go